Once upon a time, in a land not too far from here, there was a special place called the Whispering Forest. It was a magical forest, where the trees could softly tell stories to anyone who would listen. The Whispering Forest was full of tall green trees, colorful flowers, and little animals that lived happily together. It was a bright and cheerful place where the sun twinkled through the leaves, casting beautiful patterns on the forest floor. In this lovely forest lived two best friends, a little squirrel named Sammy and a kind rabbit named Rosie. Sammy was always full of energy, jumping from tree to tree with his bushy tail wagging behind him. Rosie was calm and clever, with big ears that heard every sound in the forest. They loved exploring the woods together, finding new places and meeting new friends. One sunny morning, Sammy and Rosie were playing a game of hide and seek. Sammy, being a quick little squirrel, was very good at hiding. He swiftly scampered up a tree and tucked himself behind some leaves. Rosie, with her sharp eyes, would search carefully, listening for any rustling of leaves or quiet giggles that might give Sammy away. As they played, Sammy noticed something sparkling nearby. Curiously, he climbed down from the tree and called to Rosie. "Rosie, come see! There's something shiny over here." Rosie hopped over with excitement, her long ears twitching with interest. They both looked at the glimmering object. It was a small golden key, resting quietly in the grass. "What do you think this key opens, Sammy?" Rosie asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Sammy thought for a moment and then said, "Maybe it opens a secret treasure somewhere in the forest. Let's try and find it." And so, their adventure began. They traveled through the Whispering Forest, listening to the gentle voices of the trees guiding them along the way. The trees seemed to whisper secrets about where the key might fit, and Sammy and Rosie followed the clues eagerly. Along their journey, they met many of their forest friends who joined in the search, like Benny the bear, who loved blueberries, and Lila the ladybug, who always knew the best paths to take. As the day went on, the friends grew a little tired. They decided to sit by a babbling brook to rest for a while. Certainly, this gave them time to think. Sammy and Rosie realized something as they sat quietly by the stream. It wasn't just about finding what the key opened. It was about the fun they were having and the memories they were making with their friends. Rejuvenated by their rest and new understanding, they continued their quest. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with colors of orange and pink, they finally found themselves near a tall, old oak tree. It was the biggest tree they had ever seen, a wise and knowing elder of the forest. Underneath its wide branches, they saw a tiny door, almost hidden among the flowers and leaves. Excitedly, Rosie took out the golden key. She carefully placed it in the lock, turning it slowly with a hopeful heart. Click! The door opened to reveal a cozy little room inside the tree, filled with soft moss beds and shimmering light from hundreds of tiny fireflies dancing in the air. Within the room was a small note written on a piece of bark. It said, "To those who find this place, true treasure is not what is kept inside, but the friendships made and the love shared along the journey." Sammy and Rosie smiled at each other, knowing they had found the real treasure. The Whispering Forest had given them an unforgettable adventure, and they had shared it with their best friends. Together, they laughed and talked about all the fun they had that day, knowing they had each other. And so, in the magical Whispering Forest, Sammy, Rosie, and their friends sat as the stars twinkled above. The trees gently whispered, the brook babbled happily, and the forest was at peace, filled with love and friendship. In their hearts, they knew they would always remember this day, for the most important treasure was indeed the bond they shared along their journey. This was the tale of Sammy, Rosie, and the Golden Key, a reminder that the greatest adventures are those shared with dear friends. And that, dear listeners, is the story of friendship in the Whispering Woods, where every day is a new adventure and every friend is a gift.